We have a question from Sean. In tech, we need to task switch a lot. What should we do if our jobs require us to constantly switch in between tasks or are very reactive? For example, needing to be responsive to clients. Thanks, Sean, for the question.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I see this a lot in tech. Now we know, just let's go to the other side when it comes to reflective work. So, very few jobs require 100% reactive or reflective work. So everybody's job has some mix of the two. So sometimes that's not the case. Like for an engineer, for example, almost their entire day is spent doing reflective work. And we know that the number one source of bugs in code is distraction. Right? It's somebody saying, "Oh, I need that TPS report." Meanwhile, the engineer was deep in thought, and now they've messed it up. They have difficulty getting back to where they were. So one of the best things you can do as a manager is freaking leave your employees alone. Give them time to work without distraction. It's amazing the productivity killer of stupid meetings that didn't need to be called, dumb emails that do nothing but circulate superfluous information. And we talk about all this in my book, exactly how to hack back email, hack back meetings. There's a lot you can do there. But when it comes to how do you find that time for reflective work, one of the best things you can do is to do a schedule sync. A schedule sync is part of a practice that I call managing your manager or managing up. Now, how does this work? One of the worst pieces of productivity advice that we hear all the time is if you want to be more productive, you have to learn how to say no, right? How many times have we heard that? Learn how to say no better. What kind of stupid advice is that? You're going to tell your boss, you're going to tell your manager, the person who pays your bills, you're going to tell that person, no, thanks. No, I'm not going to do it. You're going to get fired. That's terrible advice. What you want to do instead is print out that time box calendar. We talked about time boxing earlier during the presentation. One of the benefits is that now you have a physical artifact. You can literally print out your schedule for the week ahead. You book a 10-minute meeting with your boss. 10 minutes, that's all you need. Say, hey, boss, I just want to show you something. Here's my schedule. See here? Here's my Monday through Friday for how I'm going to spend my time at work this week. Here's that meeting you asked me to attend. Here's I'm giving 2 hours to work on this project without distraction. Here's where I'm going to go to XYZ meeting, whatever the case. Here's my week ahead, okay? Now, you see this other piece of paper? Here on this other piece of paper, I wrote down all the things you've asked me to do that I'm having trouble prioritizing. Can you help me prioritize? That is your boss's most important job. Your manager or supervisor's most important job is to prioritize. And so when you show them your time box calendar, they will worship the ground you walk on because they're wondering what the heck you're doing all day. So by showing them, hey, here's what I'm doing, help me reprioritize this stuff you asked me to do that I'm having trouble prioritizing, you're not saying no, you're saying help me prioritize. And so here's what's invariably going to happen. They're going to say, oh, you know that meeting? You really don't need to go to that meeting. What you really need to work on, what's way more important is that thing on this piece of paper over here. That's way more important. Let's swap those out. So you're giving your manager exposure to how you spend your time. And this, to answer the person's question just now about constant interruptions, you're showing them when you are working without distraction. So you say, okay, here from 9 to 11, that's when I'm indistractable. See? Okay, it's in my schedule. We talked about this, right? That's when I can't be interrupted. If that's a problem, let me know. I'll move it around. So by giving them transparency into your schedule, that's a huge resource. Another